You're listening to the Traffic Handler Podcast. We're about getting new customers, making more sales, and growing your e-commerce retail business. I'm your host, Amy Biddle. My guest today is Adiyah Bell. She is a TikTok star. She is the founder of Llama Momma Company.com. 2 L's at the beginning of Llama and 2 M's in the middle of Mama. She sells mommy bags, but she does a whole lot more than that. And I've got to tell you, Adiyah and I met. She hired me and joined my group a number of years ago, and she just took off. And the thing that makes a business take off is when the business owner really sees the value in everything that they do. She's got products down, she's got systems down, she's got the processes for running the business. It's so much more than just starting a store and running some product through the store. So this is a recording between two friends, two colleagues. She's actually gone on to help other business owners make their first $10,000 months. And she credits me with making her first $50,000 month. But I've got to tell you, you'll hear in this interview that Adiyah really has a lot going on, and I really want to encourage you to follow her, learn what she's doing, and see what she's all about, because it's Adiyah is special. Enjoy the episode. I am here with Adiyah Bell of Llama Momma Company.com. And Adiyah and I go back a few years. We've been working together off and on her business, her site. She is now teaching how to do what she does, the magic in her store and all of that. And she's also a mad TikTok star. So Adiyah, welcome.
Hey, Amy, thanks for inviting me on your show. I'm so excited. I've shared your information with my followers before because you hold a special place in my heart, because I'm like, it just feels good to do business with good people.
It does. Yes, absolutely. And that's how I feel about you. So, it's a big space. So you teach some stuff that I teach, and I teach some stuff that you teach, and we go at it from different angles, and there's a big enough pie for everybody.
I agree.
Absolutely.
100%. Because my thing, there's just not one pie. Let me tell you something that I learned really quickly that I thought was helpful when it comes to limiting beliefs.
Yes.
So let's just take the dinner table, for example, right? The way that you and I probably were growing up, if there was a bowl of potatoes on the table and we wanted second helpings, we would make sure, kind of gauge, does anybody else want some before I get another scoop? And we kind of limit how much we scoop to make sure there's enough room for everybody else.
Yes.
And I had an epiphany the other day. I was like, why would I limit my scoop for the possibility of somebody to get seconds when they haven't even guaranteed, they haven't even told me that they want any. Mm-hmm. But I'm limiting how much I want because they might.
Yeah.
But in other homes where money isn't an object, there's potatoes downstairs, there's another helping on the stove, some in the fridge, whatever. Right. So even this concept of the pie is it's non-existent.
Yeah.
Because everybody can have their own pie instead of it all feeling like we're taking a slice out of one.
Yes.
We're just picking up our own pie.
That's right. That is right. And that's how the whole world works. There's more than enough pie for everybody because they're all different kinds. And there's huckleberry, raspberry, strawberry, just everything.
Come on now. What kind of pie do you want to sell? That's all it boils down to. But one of the things that I've realized is that people don't know what pie they're selling.
Clarity.
Selling.
Yes.
The problem. And even when I was starting Llama Momma Company, even trying to figure out who I was talking to and knowing that it can evolve over time.
Yes.
Right. So even as the market is shifting into a recession, I don't know if I'm a full believer in recessions because I believe people are still going to spend. You just want to make sure they spend it with you. Right. So even with that, just framing or reframing my audience, not only to just moms, but gift givers. Right. Because it might be a tight spot for the mom, but the grandma or the sister may still be able to, give the gift instead.
That's right.
Marketing and business is all about pivoting. And people often feel like they're failing when if they have to pivot. I'm like, no, you're guaranteed to fail if you don't.
Yes, absolutely. So the thing is, you've had to pivot a bunch of times.
Oh my God.
with product, with audiences, but in each case, every time, and you and I have been through this together for years now, every time you've had to, pivot, it's that plot twist thing, you get bigger.
It's the Lord himself. He literally has his hand on my life, because there have been plenty of calls where I'm like, Amy, look, I don't know. Like, I really just don't know. And so you've always been a great resource and kind of like a cane or a crutch. You've helped me up some days, Amy. I'm like, okay, if Amy don't know it, then
I'm
it's time
so
to throw it
glad.
out.
I'm so
So
glad.
you helped me through a lot, even the manufacturing problem. Remember when I wasn't able to keep stuff in stock?
Yes, because you kept selling out. That's a good problem to have.
It is. It's a good
Yes.
problem to have. But even in my coaching business, I'm realizing there are gaps in education because there's gaps in experience for what people teach.
Yes.
Right. So they'll teach you how to make 50,000. They don't teach you how to keep it, number one,
Right.
or teach you how to do it without drowning.
Yes.
So that's something that I'm able to share because of personal experience.
Right, exactly. And it was sometime last year, I think it was last year, and I was doing a consulting meeting with a client, and she said, I want to make $1 million. I said, great. How's your inventory? Like, there's a connection. You went through this. Yes, I hit that $50,000 a month, but how are we going to keep going? Can I buy more inventory? Can I manage? Where's it all going to go?
Yo, where's it going? And you know what's so crazy? The other day I was doing a masterclass and I was looking at my analytics. Do you know, over the course of 3 years, I made $500,000? Pound it. I'm happy that I made it, but the problem is I don't know where it is. And that's when I started to have to unpack certain things, like losing money because the wholesaler kept increasing rates, remember? And then trying to deal with overseas manufacturers, and then doing the ad spend on increased wholesale products. I mean, a business acquisition. Oh my God, so much has happened.
Right.
Right. Being able to show people, like, yeah, you can make $500,000, but can you keep it?
Because
I can show you a screenshot of the revenue I've made. That's not a problem. But you need to be looking at those dates to see
you need to know your margins. You need to be able to, pay yourself first, which has been in all the business books ever since the Richest Man in Babylon. You ever read that? Great book. Pay yourself first.
Yes. And that's something that I struggled with, because it's like, oh, you have to invest everything back into your business. Okay, but you are a part, like, you are the business. Why would you not pay yourself?
Yes.
You're like, oh, well, this is something that I could use to grow my business. Okay, in order for you to be able to grow your business, you have to be taken care of first. You can't pour from an empty cup. And people continuously feel like they're doing this like army battle cry because they are the starving artist for their business because they're putting everything back in it. I'm gonna eat a good meal with a drink without worrying about it.
Yes.
And I use my business card.
Good. Like, yes.
Yeah, you have to get to that place to where you're not shortchanging yourself for the good of the business, because you're not going to be able to learn how to create boundaries as your business grows if you can't create them now. What you mean you're not getting a check?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't care if it's $1.25.
Right.
It needs to be a direct deposit.
It needs to be. You have to pay yourself, because without you, where's the business going to go? Zero. It's gone.
You can't make a good decision when you're hungry, financially or physically. So I'm just to start paying ourselves, even if it's something small. And the Bible says don't despise small beginnings, but I feel like sometimes people have this such grandiose idea of like $1 million and whatever that they discount the first sale, your first $1,000.
Yes.
Before you get to that.
Yes. You have to start at the beginning. You have to start. So you're selling mommy bags. So about babies. Do they start off running marathons? No, they crawl badly.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I've got to tell you, the smaller businesses that I work with, they're not ready for $1 million revenues.
They are not ready. They're not ready for $10,000 months, 5,000. Like, you're not ready, because there's no difference between the amount of work to create $10,000 a month, $100,000, $1 million. The work is the same. Failure or success depends on the systems that you have in place. And a lot of these small businesses don't have systems in place to be able to manage. Like, you're not going to make it.
No.
Who's gonna fill all those orders? Okay, so you got 50,000 orders, Adiyah. What do you who's gonna do it now?
Who's gonna box and ship all
You gotta
that?
be at work at 9 o'clock and you don't
Right.
got 100 orders. You only have 3 bags, like, and the person is in Alabama.
Right.
What? No, you're gonna do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think you have to start in order to get to those problems. And I'm realizing in my coaching calls and stuff, people have a hard time starting,
Mm-hmm.
and people give themselves too much time to start, right?
Yeah.
There's this thing I read that said, procrastination is pride in thinking that God will give you till tomorrow. So they're like, oh, I'll do it in 3 months. I'll do it in 6 months. It's like, why? Like, you're just giving yourself more time to delay what you're not going to do because you already gave yourself a deadline 3 months ago and you're still talking about, and then you want to launch. Child, okay. Then you want to launch on a holiday. What are you even talking about?
Oh,
The thing is, people don't realize the market. I think people separate themselves from the reality of what's going on. Like, stores are already tremendously overstocked right now. They're already heavily discounting products. This is probably going to be the most discounted Black Friday we have ever seen because they're overstocked. You can't do a 70% off. I could barely do a 10% off. So you're talking about 30, 40, 50%. You have no profit margin.
No.
So you're just
It's
thinking
gone.
about, thinking about that part of it.
So that brings us back to the thing that I always go back to, which is your relationship with your customers, your relationship with your prospects. How are you interacting with people? What differentiates your business? Because if you can't give that 70% discount to move product, you better be giving something else.
Anything else. And one other thing that I've started to experiment with that's done way better is not only to provide discount codes, because when you do discount, I don't want to say diminishes your product, but if you do too many sales, people aren't ever going to pay full price when you actually want them to pay full price. So instead of doing a lead magnet that's 10%, like give them something that's valuable. So for the mommy bags, I started doing hospital checklists.
Yes.
Or like how to determine, or like something like what you really need to know when you go to the hospital, right? That way I know that's something they're interested in, and I can start building a relationship, not only around the bag, but around their experience when they become a mother. And my background is in benefits. So sharing stuff about FMLA and how your pay is going to work and some state paid programs, all of that just helped create validity for me and like trust that I'm going to tell you what's good. So when it comes to me sending you an email about a bag, you're like, oh yeah, I know Adiyah. Like,
right. Exactly. And value add, all that bonus information that you're sending people, there's no other bag company that's sending all of the support information that they're going to need for their upcoming maternity leave.
Exactly. Because I believe that service first, like, and when you present yourself as though you don't need it, because you don't, that's when people will come. Because who wants a desperate boyfriend? Like, get away.
No. Yeah.
You're smothering me to death. Get away. So when you present yourself in a way that's like, you can have it if you want to. If you don't. It got to the point where I was literally recommending people other hospital bags.
Yeah.
But I knew they wanted mine. But I'm like, you can't get it. I don't want you to not have what you need. So here's some other options for you. And it just kind of reinforced them wanting to get my bag. But I stopped fearing getting sales a long time ago. Like when I stopped worrying about if I was going to get a sale or not, sales started coming.
Yes. And we walked through some of that together. I remember some calls where you and I would be there and you're like, oh, this and this happened. Is that good? Yes, that's off the charts good. Like you've been doing this in all different ways. It's just so amazing to watch, the progress that you've made. I mean, you were really good. So, okay, let me back up. You had a product that you knew you could be proud of. You had a market that you knew was going to be solid because women have babies every day of the year.
Yeah.
So that was a great market to be in. And let this be a lesson to anybody who's watching or listening to this episode. You've got to have a good market that you can sell into. So, women who have babies every day of the year, great, perfect, good, they're there. Quality product, something you can be proud of. You've been doing that since day one and getting better and better all the time.
Well, thank you. It's definitely been a learning process, but I believe in So I ran track D1. So I've been trained to go to A to B as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Right. And then I ran hurdles. So I'm like, okay, I got to jump over this. Like so I'm like low-key conditioned.
Yes.
To just do it. If you fall, you get up, you figure it out. Like maybe my trail leg was lagging, or maybe I didn't bring up my front leg high enough. And that's why I fell. But I'd rather fall and know, okay, not to do that again, or to do something different than just be standing at the blocks talking about, I want to make $50,000. You're not even lined up.
Yeah.
You're not even lined up
first.
Fantasies, delusions of grandeur.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate because now we're in this recession. I was sharing an article the other day on TikTok. 50% of companies are laying off. 44% are rescinding job offers. I think 50% are doing hiring freezes. And then there are going to be no sign-on bonuses. And I'm like, we don't know where we land on this chopping block. Right. So don't wait until they let you go to start working on your business. Worst case scenario, they don't let you go and you have a couple extra thousand in the bank. Right. But if they do fire you, that would not be the time to start working on your business. Because I let people know I don't take desperate clients. No. I don't take desperate clients because I cannot be your Hail Mary because you're not going to listen, because you're going to be so desperate. And I've been there, believe me, that you're going to start hopping from thing to thing, trying to get something to work real quick instead of following the process. But when you don't have money to make rent, you don't make good decisions. That's right. Make a business decision when you're desperate. Masterpiece.
That's right. That's right. I took a sales call from a guy who was in exactly that position. He's trying to sound all puffed up and everything and telling me all this cool stuff he's doing in his business. We were on the phone about 20 minutes. And finally, I asked him, I said, is this a choice between hiring me to run your ads or paying your mortgage? Yeah. And, he was just, it was the way he was saying things that led me to the discovery that, it was going to be 2 months with me, which is not long enough. You can't just run ads for 2 months and run a business. It doesn't work like that.
I've been trying to tell people, Facebook ads is not going to be your saving grace.
Oh, no.
It's not. It's going to magnify. They say money magnifies, and Facebook is about to magnify every hole that you do and don't have, because even if everything is right, Facebook ads will cut up on you. So it's better that you just, follow the course of action, do right. But the thing is, people know how to get people emotionally invested in something for a quick result, and then they get frustrated when they don't get the results.
Right. Right.
And now you're mad. Like, okay, well, I told you not to do it. I told you not to do that.
Yeah. It's a long play. Business is a long play. If you want something splash, do something fast. I don't know, TikTok, Snapchat, some affiliate link where it's somebody else's product, and get that out there. But, fast is not a business.
Fast is not a business. And I think with the glitz and glam, I've even had to have conversations like, do you want to be a boss or do you want to be a business owner? Because if you want to be a boss and take photo shoots in a Mercedes and look fancy and nice, Amy, I kid you not, I'm in this business group and the guy owns a car dealership. Tell me why this lady came to the dealership, took a picture in front of his G-Wagon with an Hermes empty box and a bottle of champagne and made it her profile picture and walked out. And I'm like, see, y'all following people who do this. Talk about, I can't. I'm like, you're literally following people who are pretending to be something that they're not in order to get what they want to get. And you're not going to get it. No. Like I share, like if you try to, there's one thing between imitation and duplication, right? Inspiration and duplication. Inspiration, you're still an original. You're just gathering stuff that was helpful to them that you can implement. When you start doubling and duplicating what somebody else is doing, your profits get split in half immediately. Like there's no way that you're going to be able to sustain that over time, because now you're cutting between what they got and what you got, and what you have is already cut in two because they already have it. Right. It's like already cheapen your brand and discount your services when you try to be like somebody else. Right. Yeah. I am one of one. Yeah. Okay. Right. The cost of that is going to be different versus if you can find 50 other people that are the exact same. So when people look at starting a business, the first thing that they go to is owning like an online store. Or like a boutique or toy, like children's clothes or something like that. Very common. I'm like, I don't even think people are educated in the area of the different businesses. Like when I learned about SaaS, services as a software, I was like, yo, this is where the money is. Because the money is in distribution, not in selling to, I mean, you can get money selling to consumers, but like big money, distribution.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. So, Do you want to talk about SaaS? Do you want to talk about the thing that you and I started doing recently, or do we skip that?
Oh, yes. And I realize I have a hard time trying to explain it, but the best way that I've shared, and so far it's been going real good, Amy. I'm about to update my list again, but we're almost at 5K this month, and we just started a couple weeks ago, and my budget's only $100.
Good.
Yeah, I'm excited. But what I realized when I was trying to do TikTok ads, every time I would try to upload the customer list, I would upload to Facebook, it would not sync. And I'm like, what is going on? So I searched high and low, and then I just wait till Amy summoned me that she had figured it out that, we don't have first party data when it comes to our sites, which is why there's an issue with Facebook and the Pixel, because that's third party data, right? So Amazon and Target and Walmart, whenever somebody comes to their site, they get to keep all of that stuff on a running spreadsheet. And then they take that list and upload it to Facebook.
Right.
What we get is crumbs, scraps, mere little trinkets on the floor compared to what these other lists have.
That's right.
But now you've given me that holy grail for business, and it allows you to have more accurate data that you can upload into Facebook for them to find audiences for you, like people that have already come to your site.
Which you used to lose. Site owners used to lose before this. You have to have the first party data. You have to own your list, because Facebook has not given us what we used to get on the marketing tools. They're gone.
No, they are. And to be honest, I even tried, and I haven't tested it enough because I'm trying to stabilize Facebook first, but the list does upload to TikTok.
It should.
It does upload. So just trying to figure out how, but it's not reading, So I don't know if the list isn't big enough. I don't know what the minimum list number needs to be for TikTok for it to recognize, but I'm going to keep trying. But I've uploaded it. It took it, but it's not able to create a lookalike audience off of it yet.
Okay, well, I'll work on that with you as well, and we'll get an answer for that. But I'll put in the show notes, the link to learn about what Adiyah is talking about, because you've got to own your data.
It's a game changer.
It's 2022. You have to own your list. You have to own your data. You can't be renting marketing lists from Facebook anymore, because it's not complete. They're not sharing.
Yeah, it's not complete. It's not sharing, and it's expensive.
It is.
It's very expensive. It's not how it used to be. So you being able to have that first party data, lowered my costs a lot. So now it's a matter of just getting more traffic to the store, increasing my budget, and I really want to work on my conversion.
Yep. So store conversion. So the things will be store sessions, targeted. So top of funnel, cold, targeted. So increasing those store sessions. And then the reason I'm putting my hands where I am is because it's the Shopify analytics on the screen. So here's the store sessions, the conversion rate of the store, and the average order value. You get those where they should be. You're not going to have any problems.
Yeah.
Ongoing.
Yeah, my average order value, I think, is like 175 or something.
Yeah.
Which is a good order value.
It is.
Whenever I get a sale,
if you can add $20 to that, gravy, right?
I love a challenge. So I will work towards that. Even the cost of just keeping people's attention has gone up, not only with Facebook ads, but even like online and social media content.
Yes.
I'm realizing, people have a problem with the content that they share because they don't know what to do or how to keep people's attention or what to say. And I'm like, if you base it off of data, because, my degree is in neuroscience, so I love numbers, data, all that kind of research kind of stuff. I'm like, some things can be presented as overly complicated, so it can seem like that person is the savior to your problems. But the one thing I enjoyed about you're like, Adiyah, take a deep breath.
Yeah, it's got to be simple.
We're going to figure this out. And you made it so simple to be able to work Facebook ads. Like I say all the time, it's important for you to invest in your business, right? Because I invested $5K, and that stung. I was like, okay.
I know you were not in a position to spend that money then.
No, that was.
But you made it back quickly.
I didn't have a choice, and I was like, oh, this has got to work. And the next month, I made $50,000.
That's right.
And that's when other problems came in, but that's okay, because I was like, oh, I can figure this stuff out.
Yes.
I couldn't figure out the sales stuff. Even just marketing to your audience, because people think you do Facebook ads, and if you're not even like targeting the right people or, you know, what you think is the person you're targeting and who you really need to be targeting are two different people.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You think they like something, and oh, let's not even talk about, well, maybe we should, interests on Facebook out the window.
Out the window, Amy. I was like,
Mhm.
when I went and set up my ad, I was like, what can you even compare to what it was? I'm like, what am I doing? Like,
Mhm.
this is nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Infinite.
you have a customer list. So in your case now, you've got a customer list, which you input as a lifetime value. So it's weighted, which gives it tremendous value. And now the prospect list that you're able to put in because of the ads group system that you and I are working on together. So, you know, you've got a whole lot more real, targeted, well-defined first-party data. And as long as you continue to put those lists into your Facebook account, boom, you're golden.
So should I do my, oh, I think I get what you're saying. So should I do my lookalike audience off of the sales for top of funnel? And
You
then
can do
my
lookalike of that prospect list.
okay,
I
I've done.
break it into all 10,
Mhm.
and I'll run a test. I want to see what the 1% audience does first, but
Mhm.
then I'll add in the out to 3%. Sometimes I'll even run out all 10. So just depending on how it goes.
And that's for the lookalike. So for the customer list that we used to do with the total spend, is
Mhm.
that still valuable?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, and what you're describing then is the customer list lifetime value. That total spend is the differentiator. So Facebook can say, okay, this person spent $500 and this person spent $10 or just opted in for a coupon. We want more of these who spent the 500 and fewer of these who spent little to nothing. And so that customer list with a lifetime value total spend, that's the weighted list. And you just, in your case, you're getting enough traffic,
Yeah.
upload that monthly, update it monthly, and
Okay.
same with your prospect list. And if that's the basis, if you ignore now the Facebook pixel, you've already got the conversion API installed. Let that run so that Facebook feels comfy with Shopify, and it's all, they feel nice. It's all, cozy. That part's good, but you run those two audiences, you're not gonna have to worry about, interests, or, if a business is just starting, you're just starting off, yes, you test interests.
Yeah.
And
100%.
but you don't have to do that anymore. Lookalikes and custom audiences is everything for you now.
Yeah, I really usually suggest that, clients try to get their first 50 sales organically if possible, because that's going to be the best, like, kind of seed for your list going in the
Yes.
future. Because my
Yes.
thing is, you start driving traffic too soon, like you might not have the money, to be honest, to
Right.
spend to even get those 50 sales, and you might be
Yes.
in the red before
Mhm.
you're able to make a profit. So just try to get them organically first versus jumping into ads. I mean, like, you don't even have, how it says insert image?
Yeah.
You haven't even inserted the image.
Yeah.
You're asking for a website audience.
Right.
What? Like, there's so many steps that people are missing. And I just think it's really like a lack of knowledge, because people present it in a way that it's so easy, and it is, but it's almost false expectations.
Well,
Right?
it is. Yeah. Because who's ready for paid traffic? You have to know, you've got a solid story, you've got a solid process, systems in place, because you're turning on a faucet, like a fire hose.
Exactly. And that's why I always say it's better for you to have a mentor. Cause like we used to have calls twice a week,
Yeah.
right? In the beginning. And I know, was it twice a week?
It was twice a week. It was Tuesday, Thursday. You were there often.
I know, because I was like, yo, this is happening. What do I do now? I spent $5,000. And that's why I feel like some people charge what they charge, because it makes people have to stay accountable and commit to
True.
what you paid for. Like, if something was $10, you spend $10 on a bag of chips. Like, that's dismissible. But if it's $1,200, then all of a sudden it has your attention.
Yes.
And I realize people need that price to give their business some attention. you know, and it's not like you have money coming in. Like additional money would be nice, but it's not a requirement. You know, some things are done or implemented to help you. You know what I mean? Like you could have ran the ads for me, but you taught me. You're like, okay, this is what this does. This is how you do this, right? People have to be a fisher of men. Like go fish for yourself, or you're going to be waiting on somebody to feed you.
Well, right. And now you've got that skill. So you're running ads for yourself. You're teaching other people, which is brilliant. There are people who listen to you who would not listen to me.
It's okay because they come your way.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I'm not.
I think I met one earlier today. I think you sent me another one.
Good. Yeah. Like I believe in staying in my own lane. If I have the resources, I'll help. But like at some point, because my thing is like we said, there's enough pie for everybody. I'm not going to stress myself out on something that you know way better than I do. I'm going to go take Amy.
There's plenty of room. There's plenty of room. Which is why you and I are here today. We're double teaming them. You know?
Yes.
And, hey, guess what? There's so many different people to listen to. And
oh my gosh. Yeah. So many. So many. And one of the things I think that helped me the most with you, because even when I was starting to get into the manufacturing side, when you had that lady that came on.
Yeah.
She was really good to help me kind of like figure out how to even do that. Like, how do you communicate? There's a time zone difference.
Yes.
The first I got was in like centimeters. Oh, it's like they don't use inches.
They don't, right? Yes. Most of the world is metric.
Yes.
Right.
So one of my friends sending a tech pack over in inches.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if there's a language barrier or whatever, but like just having that saves you money because those samples are expensive. That stuff adds up over time for sure. Yeah. Remember when I tried to do influencer marketing?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's still a sore spot. I don't know. Maybe it'll work out better.
Some people make it work. You know, you can't. Not everybody can go out and get a series of shout outs from a Kardashian, but you know, there are micro influencers.
100%.
Who are hungry and interested and committed.
Better content than some of the bigger ones. Yes. To be honest, you know, one thing I learned about influencers is not necessarily the influencer, but it's their audience. And it's like
every time.
But the thing was, when I got my first influencer, I was like, oh, this girl, she's beautiful. She has 1 million followers. She's pregnant. I give her my bag and I'm waking up the next day like I'm finna quit. I'm rich. Like not a single sale.
Yep.
Because her audience was men and she was a video vixen. She was a video vixen, a pregnant video vixen. And I gave her a bag to an audience full of men who just want to see her, you know, how she presents her. Like they don't care about no mommy bag. So it's not the follower account that matters, but like the audience that you're talking to.
So when you're uncovering that then, and you find somebody who might be an influencer for you, do you go in and look at who's following her?
So what I do is I look at the comments, right? Yes. Like under the vixen, it was like, oh, you're so hot. Like, oh, I want you to be my girlfriend. I didn't even look at the comments before I gave her that bag. But under another girl I did, she only had like 18,000 followers. I got so many sales off of her versus the one that had 1 million. But in her thing, she was like pregnant and she was sharing with other moms things that are working. And they're like, oh, what about this? Like she had a very engaged audience. So that's what I went off of the second time. And it worked. She gave me a beautiful picture. Like she was a 10 out of 10.
That's great.
But I learned.
Good. So word of the wise, check out your followers when you're looking for an influencer. That's perfect.
I mean,
and you're right. It's not the size of the list. That's absolutely not it. Because even for myself, I've had a tiny list for years and really haven't done any promotion. I was 15 years in business, straight referrals. Wow. Like I just never ran ads. Everybody just said, go see Amy.
Exactly. Because that's what I'm doing.
And, you know, that was like, I sold millions of dollars of product and that worked out well. And, you know, just like 15 years in business. And I think I ran ads for 3 weeks. And I just recently started running ads again, just to boost it.
How much would you say you have generated for people in ads?
Like for the actual like ad spend that I've managed within,
Like,
so ad spend that I've managed within the account is about $500,000. So when I look in my partner account, that's the amount of ad spend that has flowed through. How much product has sold? It millions, 20 million. I don't know. A
you
lot,
think? I'm like, it's
a
gotta
lot.
be.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot. It's a lot. Cause what's his name? Derek? Three Nails, the clothing line.
Yeah,
Have you
Derek. Yeah.
have you seen what he's doing? I'm like, this is amazing. He has a
Yeah.
warehouse now.
Oh,
Somebody
yeah.
else in our group, I don't know if she was from Australia, but I remember she had gotten a bigger building. I'm in a
Tegan.
building.
Yep.
It's just everybody, like you have fruit to show for your labor.
Yeah.
Because you have some people that profess to be one thing and then other people aren't moving up, which is why I'm
Mhm.
always like, get you, like even the people I coach and consult with have made more than me. So
Yes.
why would I try to get advice from somebody
Mhm.
without like who's not on the level? Because there's stuff that you're able to give me because you've been able to manage more than I have.
Yeah. It's really kind of both. I always want to be in the middle. I want people ahead of me, and I
Mm-hmm.
want to be able to help people up with people behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, it's not the size of the list, because I don't have one of those. I've got colleagues with, email lists of 200,000 people. I'm not one of those marketers. I don't have that. I can't just write an email and send it out. But, when we're doing business together, we're going places.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So
It,
what podcast, have you heard of Dan Kennedy?
oh yeah, I'm going to go see him in September.
No.
Yes.
Me a picture. I literally just got on him a couple of months ago and I'm like, this dude is a freaking genius. What other what do you listen to podcasts? What are you listening to these days?
Actually, I'm not much of a listener. Which is funny because I run a podcast. There are 3 learning styles: kinesthetic, visual, auditory. I'm so low auditory. It's
Really?
ridiculous. And I'm so high kinesthetic. When I was a kid in school, I should have been doing jumping jacks in the back of the room. Okay. I was that kid. So really, there aren't a whole lot of podcasts. There's one. I just interviewed Tom Antion from Screw the Commute, and he was good. That was really good. But yeah, I can't recommend podcasts, but I remember a couple of years ago, I put my Kindle list in
I
the,
remember that. I
yeah, and a
remember
lot of
that.
people found value from that.
Yeah. I'm realizing, coaching is really just giving the spark notes of a lot of books that you read and stuff that you practice.
Yeah.
You
Well,
have
as
to
long as you can make the connection, so
Yeah.
like coaching is I think of it more like consulting, because it's got to be experientially based. I can't just read a book and say, here, do this. I have to have had the application. And before I even started our group, I had consulted with well over 10,000 businesses, because I was running sales for a SaaS company, and people would call and consult and say, how do I do this? So it was like they hadn't purchased the product yet.
Yeah.
And we were talking them through like how the software was going to work for them. And so I had to get into their business. I had to understand what it was that they were trying to do to tell them, yes, we can help you do this. So, from that spun into everything, because, the amount of experience that I got just from that experience, of analyzing business, like hundreds of businesses every month. I did that for 7 years.
It's
So
invaluable.
it
And
is.
and one thing about businesses, which is why I think it's important for you to read stuff on other stuff, like what the carpet cleaning industry is doing to get clients could actually end up helping your jewelry line if you would just take the time to read what's going on in different stuff. A lot of it's frustrating to run a business because you keep trying to come up with stuff. You don't have to come up with anything. It's already out there. Just go
There's nothing new under the sun.
there's nothing new under the sun. Like just go find it, go try it. Let me tell you this thing I'm gonna start doing, right?
Yes.
So for my ads or my content, I want to start creating mini movies instead of user-generated content.
Oh, nice.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Instead of UGC. Okay, so tell me about this. So you're gonna have storylines?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna
Okay.
have a storyline. And then I'm trying to figure out if I want to do like part 1, part 2, but like just run with me here.
Okay.
The vision of the bag, and the dad's like scrambling, trying to put clothes in the mommy bag, and then you have
Yeah.
a scene of the mom getting in the car.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
That's it.
Nice.
You know
Good.
what I'm saying? Like just trying to,
That's it.
it's like the movie industry. I'm like, why? Because when the Wakanda trailer came out, but I think of things differently. When the
Mhm.
Wakanda Forever trailer came out, it got all these views in a short amount of time.
Right.
And all it had was a couple of scenes with some music behind it. And I'm like, okay. And the point of
Well,
a
it
movie,
also has authority. It also
oh,
has authority, because Black Panther had to come before Wakanda, right?
100%.
So you have to have authority. There has to be, always look for the reason behind why this works. So, but I agree with you, because that scene that you just described is giving anticipation, deeply loving feelings, and terror in the hearts of every pregnant woman right now. So you're
Exactly.
putting that image out there, and I think it's brilliant, and it's worth a test, because here's the thing. I am never, rarely, in the demographic that I'm trying to reach.
100%.
So
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you're lucky. You've been through this experience, so
Yeah. And the
So
thing is, somebody had broke down like a movie to me. And the reason why it's called a movie is because it's supposed to move you
yes,
during the movie. And
yes,
so when he broke down like how in like the first 10% of the movie, the main character will have a problem. Like he literally broke it down. I'm like, oh wow. Like, and people talk about the customer journey, and the best way to relate that to where it's understandable is like a movie. Like the hero, the help, the guide, whatever, the story,
yeah,
the conclusion. And it
yes.
gives people kind of a path, because I'm realizing people want business to be sequential, and it's not, because you think how they started their business is how you're going to start yours.
Mhm.
The goal is just to make sure you start it,
Yeah.
right? And one thing that I share is like, I don't teach tactics or strategies. Like I don't teach you how you can break the algorithm. I'm like, the people that are telling you that, they're lying.
They're
It's
lying.
AI. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
It is literally a formula that's running on autopilot.
Yeah.
So to teach principles, like if Bill Gates and a homeless man threw a ball up in the air, when gravity hit, I mean, it's both going to fall to the ground regardless. And when you have the basic understanding of marketing or doing Facebook ads, or like how to move people on a customer journey, how to present your product, how to target people, like it doesn't matter what business you start, because the fundamentals are the same.
Yes, they are. That's right.
It doesn't have to be overwhelming or overbearing. But when I started with you, I think my baby was like 7 months, 6 or 7 months.
Tiny baby. Yes.
Tiny baby.
Uh-huh.
To fill orders at home and then drop them off at the post office. I remember getting on calls while I was still at work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time you were still at work, and that was the most peaceful place you
Hello.
would be, because if you were at home,
Chaos.
it was too busy.
Chaos.
Mhm.
Chaos. But it's been I'm excited because it's giving me the opportunity to like grow it in different ways.
Yes.
Because I don't know if I told you, I was like, I want to start doing like formula, like Llama Momma formula, and
Wow.
just like different sides of the baby industry, because people do diaper bags, they do children's clothes, but I'm like, what else?
I do want you to explore digital as far as not just value add, but products too.
How?
Think of the profit margin.
Oh
So
no, I'm with you on digital product. I'm with you on it, but I'm just trying to think like, what? All right.
So what would it take to do lullaby music or bath time fun, or how could you turn those into products?
I did have this idea one time called Motherhood University.
Mm.
There it was online courses of like your FMLA and what happened to the hospital, how to add your child to insurance, how to know if you're pregnant, what's going to happen when you go to, I did have that at one point. Because I
Okay.
was like, oh,
All
maybe
right.
if I do digital, but I gotta marinate on that.
All right. Marinate on that, because
I'm
what
gonna come
you
up
just said, now that's strategy of motherhood, right? Mommy University. But if you can get her to feel that heart feeling, if you can, like the bath time, the lullabies,
like the connection.
the connection, right? Right. Engender that feeling, encourage that feeling, nurture that feeling, and have digital products that help her to keep that feeling going. And then she will buy from you because of that.
I never thought about that. Yeah, I might have to figure out I like it.
There may be someone who has written a children's book who just doesn't know how to market it. There's so many ideas.
You're onto something there.
There's so many ideas. So
you're onto something right there.
Yeah. If it's for her kids, she's going to do it.
100%. It's not even a question.
It's not even a question. Right. And so the mom, the sister, the girlfriend group, whoever put on the baby shower, all those people, they're going to want to support this little baby. And so there are plenty of ideas, and think of the profit margins that are going to help subsidize the recession, which,
and
we
that's
just have to be creative.
I was telling people, even when it comes to consumer products, a lot of people don't have enough offers for their product. They're like, oh, just buy this one item direct to consumer. I'm like, y'all haven't done a subscription model. Y'all haven't tried to wholesale it as well. Y'all aren't doing like limited edition collections for a certain time frame. Y'all just literally trying to buy it directly to the customer, and that's it. And then you're only doing it one time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yes. So like my thing is, once we have that conversation, they change their goals, because I don't work with people whose goal is under 10K.
Good. That's good.
Because I'm like, what the reason why you don't think you can make 10K in a month is because you don't know how to make 10K in a month. And that's what I'm here to share with you. But if just adding another business model, or maybe a couple, to people's businesses, triples.
So remember when you and I used to talk about, okay, mommy bags now, what about the second baby? What about the third baby? What about middle school? What about high school? We'll talk about a lifetime value of a customer. When somebody has a baby, you have a commitment for like 21 years, sometimes longer, where mom is really going to be involved with this kid. So
100%.
There's so much more.
There's so much. And I'm even trying to figure out, I'm honestly debating, not even debating, but I know with the maternity company, I just think I want to focus more on the mom. Everybody focuses on the baby. Even why I did the hospital bag was so that she could have what she needed, and just supporting her through that process of, even like, you might not love your baby the first time it comes, which is okay. Or, just providing, like you said, that emotional support for them down the line, because motherhood evolves over time. I made this post on TikTok that went viral. I was like, you could be the best mother in the world, but there's no way that your child, like, you can't control how your child is going to view you when you get older. But you've sacrificed your dreams, starting your business, do whatever, and your kids still may think that you were terrible. You could have been at every game. You could have made dinner every single night. Like, how? Like, why wait? There's so many other women that have businesses to start, and it's like they're trying to wait for the perfect time. And there's no such thing. It's like having a baby. There's no such thing as a perfect.
That's good. That's good. All right. So focusing on the mom instead of the baby, because she loses her identity. So 100%. How can you help women maintain their identity and not be the superwoman, which, I don't think people do that anymore, but it used to be, oh, well, now you don't have to be a housewife, because I grew up a long time ago. Now you don't have to be a housewife. Now you could be, a professional, with a career, but you also still have to be a housewife. So that all got piled on. But like, how else can you support her? Can you do, recordings, or, schedules, or how to do, like how to fit your yoga in your ridiculous lifestyle. I mean, like all kinds of.
I want to do it digital. Maybe I'll even do audio, but I want to do a book called The Painful Privilege of Motherhood. Like how to restore your identity, XYZ. Because I was listening to a Grant Cardone podcast, the audio book, like 10X or whatever. And I'm like, this man is delusional. Never does the man ever consider childcare. Because even in all the biographies or documentaries I watch, the wife is always taking care of the children. So when she starts a business, you can't go by Grant Cardone's method of madness, because it's not realistic for you, which then makes you feel like you're failing or it's not attainable. But I don't think there are enough women loud enough that are like Tony Robbins or whatever, that are letting women know this. And like women, as always, are forced to walk in this path that men have trekked that is 50 miles longer than it needs to be. The Israelites just wandering in the desert for 40 years and 49. Like, we're following men. There's literally a study that says we have more brain cells than them. But
I like that.
Nobody else is out there being loud enough for women. So even in my book, I want to have like quick recipes that you can do, quick little workouts, as well as business strategies.
Yes.
Because once the kids go to bed, guess who's tapping you on the shoulder? Your husband. Like, I'm trying to get stuff done. So I enjoy showing moms how they can work on their business without being overwhelming or stressful.
Right. We have had some miraculous examples of this, in a bunch of different ways, like like major athletes who have tapped out. They said, no, enough. I don't need to be a type A anymore. I need to take care of myself. Yes, I can still come and do this for you.
What's her name? Tennis player. Yeah, the tennis player.
Serena Williams.
Serena, Allison Felix, she runs track. She almost got like basically penalized for taking a pregnancy leave. And my thing is like, how ironic that you did that. Then you're trying to come out with a maternity line. Or like, don't be a hypocrite. Like, if you're going to support them, but don't use them. And that's what's frustrating, because moms or women in the house are usually the decision makers when it comes to finances.
Yes.
So people will market to y'all, but they won't help you. I won't be able to help you. Right. Because I can get you to buy something. Marketing is a pretty simple concept.
Yeah, you just talk it the right way in front of the right people.
Exactly. I don't want to pimp you out.
Yeah.
For a toy or for an outfit. Like, I want to make sure that you're okay.
Yeah.
I had a coworker. She was on my floor and she was missing for a couple of days. Long story short, she ended up hurting herself. And I felt so bad because I looked at her in her face and I said, this will never happen again. Not with me. Like, I will never not make sure I'm not doing at least what I can do to make sure people are okay.
That's cool.
I'm not doing that. That's
it. Right. Now you keep talking that. And I want to tell a story. Recently, I was having a conversation with some people I don't really know. I mean, we're just connected on Facebook, and we were talking in a group. And this one woman, it was all women in this conversation. There were about 7 of us in this one comments on these posts. Taylor Swift had just gotten a PhD, and these women were talking her down because it was an honorary PhD. And like, I'm thinking, go you, because Taylor Swift, the music, whatever. I'm kind of a 70s kid myself, but whatever. She's a business person. Very, very good business person. So Taylor Swift, J-Lo, Madonna, I mean, like, stellar. But these women are saying, oh, she didn't earn it. Don't be talking down women.
Come on. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Stick together. Help each other up.
Exactly. Because we were never supposed to do it by ourselves in the first place.
No. And guys
don't know what happened. I think the whole like breastfeeding, formula feeding, stay-at-home mom versus career mom, like all of these things have segmented us into this thing. And now we can't even handle it.
Right.
Because it wasn't supposed to be like that.
No, we have to make something else up.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, just trying to show them like, you can do this. And it's okay, because there are seasons in business and there are seasons in motherhood.
Yes.
You gotta learn how to deal with the feast day and the famine. You gotta deal with kids literally only wanting you to put them to sleep and them not paying attention to you. So just having that balance and that mentality, like, it's possible, and you don't have to do it like they did it because they're crazy.
Yeah.
Who's gonna call 2,000 people in a day? Grant Cardone. He's a smart man.
He didn't have, if he has kids, I don't even know if he has kids. His wife is taking care of him, or he paid somebody to take care of him.
Or people have a nanny, and it's like, I can't afford a nanny. I am the nanny.
Yeah. You don't have to.
No. So yeah, I'm excited to be able to launch into that endeavor, and to think it all started from a little bag that I saw online.
That's great. It's perfect. It's so good. That's a great place to stop. And we've been here almost an hour. So I knew that we would have a phenomenal conversation. So Adiyah, where do people find you? Because we're going to have it in the show notes, but I want you to say it out loud too. TikTok, your website, where can people find you to work with you?
Yeah, so I can be found on, all my usernames are the same, Adiyah Danny, so ADIYAH DANI_XO. I should probably change that to something more SEO searchable, but at TikTok and Instagram, and then also Adiyah Bell business at gmail.com.
Perfect. That is perfect. Great. And the mommy bags are Llama Momma Company.com. That's 2 L's at the beginning of Llama and 2 M's in the middle of Mama. And I'm just so excited to, put you out in the world in this way, in my, little universe, to help however I can. And thanks for coming on the show.
No, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure. You have a special place in my heart, Amy. Maybe one day I'll get to meet you in person. But till then, we're best friends.
I'm right down the road. I'm just south of Jacksonville. We're practically neighbors. You've been listening to the Traffic Handler Podcast. We're about getting new customers, making more sales, and growing your e-commerce retail business. I'm your host, Amy Biddle. Get more at amybiddle.me. And until next time, go sell more stuff.